boys and girls, good morning. I want you to stand up and get all your morning wiggles out and sing this fun song with Miss Kelsey and I. We are going to sing My God is So Big, So Strong, and So Mighty. So get ready to show your muscles. My God is so great, so strong, and so mighty. There's nothing my God cannot do. My God is so big, so strong, and so mighty. There's nothing my God cannot do. The mountains are His, the river are His, the stars are His handiwork too. My God is so big, so strong, and so mighty. There's nothing my God cannot do. My God is so big, so strong, and so mighty. There's nothing my God cannot do. The mountains are His, the rivers are His, the stars are His handiwork too. My God is so big, so strong, and so mighty. There's nothing my God cannot do. There's nothing my God cannot do for you.
One.
Good morning, boys and girls. We are on week 5 of 8 weeks of Roanoke Jones, Ace Detective. And as always, every week I look at these and I think it's kind of a hoot to dig into stories that we would not normally cover in children's ministry. And this week is no different as we dig in. Now on this special day, we would have gathered together to celebrate our 5th graders. So in Big Church today, when you're watching, you're going to see a very fun slideshow of how we honored all of our graduates, which has been a great tradition here at Hillcrest. And we were going to make it no different. So take a notice during Big Church today that we honored our, I think I have 11 5th graders, and they still got their Bibles and still got to have a quick fun moment with me. And we wish them the best as they head into the middle school years in a couple months. So my mystery question, boys and girls, get your magnifying glass and your mystery hats on and be ready for my mystery question. What can you hold without touching it? What can you hold without touching it? Gonna give you some think time. I hope you race to the comment box to give me your answer. It is your breath. Wah, wah, wah. I think those are a hoot. So, today in Roanoke Jones, we are going to remember what others have done for us. What others have done for us. And in the case of the Pharaoh's dream, it's going to be found in Genesis 40:41. So when I talk about it being important that we remember what people have done for us, I'm going to give you an example. What if you were getting ready for a spelling test, or even if you're competing in a spelling bee, and you win, or you get an A on this test? Are you going to take all of the accolades that come with winning? That would be most of our natures, which is fine. I did the test. I did well. I should be congratulated. I'm a winner. Woohoo! But it is important to remember what all people have done for us, other people. So when you're getting ready for a spelling bee or spelling test, which all of my 4 children have, there are many different people who walked you along that journey. So for instance, I want to remind, like when I was a little girl, this is my memory, spelling tests made me a wreck. A wreck. Tests of any kind. If you just said, I want to tell you this, or Tarina, answer these questions, and you never said the word test near me, I would be successful. But you put a test to it, and I immediately have anxiety, I immediately have worry, and I will fail. And it's just a battle I've had in my head since I was a little girl. To the point where spelling tests, because it says test right on there, got me all worked up all week long. And my mother, with her faithful love of me and knowing my nature, would wake me up at the crack of dawn a couple mornings a week, and we would come out in our quilts or bathrobe and wrap it around us, and I'm sure she had a fresh cup of coffee, because that's what I look forward to in the morning. And we would quietly sit on the couch, and only the 2 of us would be awake, and she would easy breezy, with her peaceful spirit, start asking me my words, and I would start peacefully saying them back. And she did that to set me up for a calm atmosphere and to relax me so that I would be successful on my test. And that's what tests do for me. They give me anxiety, so I have to figure out a way to not be anxious, right? And I remember another time as a sophomore in high school, My science teacher knew that I had wonderful potential and I got good grades, but I was anxious. I was anxious about always wanting to do my best. So when I did my best, I probably did do a fairly good job of knowing people walked alongside me to help me be successful. All the way through college and making the dean's list, but I had to work very, very hard, and I had to constantly remind myself that I could do it and be at peace and give credit where credit was due. So I give credit to my mother. I give credit to my science teacher as a sophomore when I accidentally massively bombed a test, and he didn't just write it off. He just brought me up to his desk at the end of class, said nothing, started asking me questions, and I auditorily answered him, and I got 100%. So it reminded me that I could do it, and I give him the glory and the praise for that too. So if you're studying for a spelling test and you win or there's some spelling bee, who do you think? You thank your teachers for their hard work, your grown-up who helped you. Sometimes in my house, my kiddos help each other if it's their strength. Riley math tutors people, and he'll help his siblings if Dad and I get stumped, because it's been so many years since we've done some kooky math stuff, especially in these last 2 months of homeschool at the Stroh house. So there are people that you thank along the way, and you need to remember that it was a journey to get to that, right? And you want to give credit where credit is due. And that is what our story takes us to today. Now, it's a Bible story that shows us that helping others and remembering to give honor to that is what we need to do. And it's about a strange dream, and it's a king of a distant land, and an innocent man who was stuck in prison. Dun, dun, dun. And the story can be found in Genesis chapters 40 and 41. Turn to your Bibles, boys and girls. So here's our Bible point first. I will remember what others have done for me. Before I can even continue, boys and girls, I want you to think of one thing. I hope you could come up with all 10 fingers. What is something that you need to remember that someone has done? What others have done for me. Now, by all means, you should be able to think of something from your mom and dad, from a teacher that you loved. Maybe you got to give a goodbye into the school year this as school was ending. But think of something where you need to remember what others have done for you. Here we go. I hope you are in the book of Genesis as we start our case of the king's dream. It was late one night, and Pharaoh, the king of Egypt, tossed in his bed. As he slept, Pharaoh had a disturbing dream. In his dream, he saw 7 fat, healthy cows come up from the river and begin grazing the grass. Then he saw 7 more cows come up behind them, but they were scrawny and thin. Then the scrawny, thin cows ate the 7 healthy, fat cows. At this point in the dream, Pharaoh woke up and realized, it was just a dream. It was disturbing, but then again, dreams can often be disturbing and not mean anything. So Pharaoh turned over and went back to sleep, only to have a second dream. This time it was 7 heads of grain, plump and beautiful, growing on a single stalk. Then 7 more heads of grain appeared, and they were shriveled and withered by the east wind. And these thin heads swallowed up the 7 plump, well-formed heads. Then Pharaoh woke up again. He realized it was just a dream. But something was going on here. Pharaoh could not get the dream out of his mind. The dreams were not just random, but what could they mean? This was a real mystery. And with the mystery, you need an answer and a solution. And so the case of Pharaoh's dream was opened. Dun, dun, dun. The Pharaoh called all of the wise men to see if they could offer any clue to this mysterious dream and their meaning. Well, as they listened, the men tried to figure out the dream, but none of them could offer an answer that would satisfy the king. It was then that a suggestion came from an unlikely source. The Pharaoh's chief cupbearer. He said,
"Some time ago, you were angry with the chief baker and me, and you imprisoned us in the palace of the captain of the guard. One night, the chief baker and I each had a dream, and each dream had its own meaning. There was a young Hebrew man with us in the prison who was a slave of the captain of the guard. We told him our dreams, and he told us what each of our dreams meant. And everything happened just as he had predicted.
Well, come to find out, this young Hebrew slave was the man named Joseph. He was the one who was the cupbearer, but he would soon work for Pharaoh again, and he was right. Maybe this Joseph could help Pharaoh in his dream. So Pharaoh sent for Joseph and him to be brought to the palace, and when he arrived, Pharaoh said,
I had a dream last night, and no one here can tell me what it means. However, I have heard that when you hear about a dream, you can interpret it.
It is beyond my power to do this, but God can tell you what it means and set you at ease.
Pharaoh recounted his dream to Joseph. He explained it in detail, and when he was finished, Joseph said,
Pharaoh's dreams mean the same thing. God is telling Pharaoh in advance what he is about to do. The 7 healthy cows and the 7 healthy heads of grain both represent 7 years of prosperity. The 7 thin, scrawny cows that came up later and the 7 thin heads of grain withered by the east wind represent 7 years of famine.
Joseph explained everything about the dream to Pharaoh. It seemed that God was trying to warn Pharaoh of the future. Once he told them the meaning of the dream, Joseph then suggested a course of action for Pharaoh to take that would help him avoid tragedy. Joseph said,
Pharaoh should find an intelligent and wise man and put him in charge of the entire land of Egypt. Then Pharaoh should appoint supervisors over the land and let them collect 1/5 of all the crops during the 7 good years. Have them gather all the food produced in the good years that are just ahead and bring it to Pharaoh's storehouses. Store it away and guard it so there will be food in the cities. That way there will be enough to eat when the 7 years of famine come to the land of Egypt. Otherwise, this famine will destroy the land.
Joseph knew that God wanted Pharaoh to do, and Pharaoh decided to follow Joseph's advice. He created a position, and in the kingdom he would answer only to him. This person would be in charge of all the food in Egypt. When Pharaoh remembered what Joseph had done for him by solving the mystery, guess who Pharaoh put in the new position? You got it, Joseph. Case closed. And I can only imagine what would have happened if Pharaoh had sent Joseph back to prison and forgot all about this. It would have been a horrible ending for Joseph. He had helped the cupbearer, and he had helped Pharaoh. He didn't deserve to be in prison, let alone stay in there. God surrounds us with people to help us, to guide us, to teach us, and to lead us. We should be grateful to God and grateful to others for the help they have given us. And boys and girls, I have a perfect Bible verse that will help us. In Psalms 112:9, it says, They share freely and give generously to those in need. Their good deeds will be remembered forever. They will have influence and honor. Boys and girls, when I think about this verse, we do need to be thankful for the help that our parents give and what our teachers do to help us. Or if a neighbor helps shovel your driveway, or if someone mowed the lawn unexpectedly, or you're taking out the garbage and your little brother or sister takes out the second bag. The worst thing we can do is take credit where credit is due. So if someone mowed your lawn and your parents gave you that as the to-do today, and you said, yep, I got it done, and you didn't give credit to the neighbor, we would not be honoring truth tellers. We wouldn't be honoring to God. We wouldn't be honoring to the person who helped us. We want to give credit where credit is due. And I love that the verse says that they share freely and give generously to those in need. That's the first part, to give generously to those in need. So we talk about that a lot with our tithes and offering, how even as kiddos we can give of ourselves. Maybe you're a good lawnmower and you have an elderly neighbor who would love your help. Maybe you can spray for weeds or do the weed thing, weed eater along the fence line. I have a lot of kids that do our lawn work, boys and girls. I haven't remembered that word. The second part of the verse says, Their good deeds will be remembered forever. They will have influence and honor. So think about what it means to be of active service to somebody else and how much you have helped their hearts. And then maybe they find a way in their heart that they know they can be helpful to the next person. And we pass on this generous spirit in a time of giving to other people. Oh, what a happy world we would be in, right? Boys and girls, I miss you so much. When I think about this and when I would make a mistake with you guys live, it'd be okay. We would just laugh at me, right? Because I don't remember all my words. So I want to show you the Bible point one more time before we do some of our review mystery questions. So maybe put some actions to it. Here we go. I will remember what others have done for me. I will remember what others have done for me. And as always, like, that's remembering how people have helped us. And then in return, how can I go and help somebody else? What a fun thing to respond back to me this week with. To tell me a time, or like to give thanks to someone. Give a shout out right now in your comment box. I will remember that my mom went out of her way to help me with a struggling math class because I had to do it from home. Or I know the Bells are working together with the Strufords, their cousins. So maybe in their little homeschool moments when they had to be in quarantine these last 2 months, maybe there's something fun that happened there. They've been sending me a lot of Marco Polo videos that I really enjoy. And I got to put 4 or 5 more names in today for people that sent me videos that you've learned your scripture memory. So I look forward to hearing something. So maybe your video this week to me will be about giving thankfulness and praise and honor to someone who has done something for you. And maybe you give me a little shout out of something that you've done as an act of service for somebody else. That would make my heart super happy. So I hope you communicate that back. Let's do our mystery questions.
Okay, junior detectives, it's time to put your skills to the test. As any good detective knows, sometimes finding the clues means that you need to look closer.
Ready to look
Answer these
closer?
questions and try to deduce what the objects are.
All right, question number 1. Why is it important to remember what others have done for us? A, so we do not become prideful and think we have accomplished everything ourselves. Ooh, we're gonna sit on this a minute, boys and girls. We have talked about humility and pridefulness. We've talked about people offer help and you should take it. You should give help when it's needed. And that word prideful comes up again. I don't think we're gonna forget these words in these 8 weeks about pridefulness and humility and working together as a team. All right, let's see if we can deduce these pictures. 1, 2, 3. I have a ton of those wicker laundry baskets in our Sunday school rooms holding stuffies. I never would have guessed that. All right, question number 2. Yesterday, your sister let you have your favorite seat on the ride to the store. Today, your family is driving to go see a movie. What should you do? Now, it doesn't say little sister, but I have a hunch that if it was a little sister, you might not even consider. My seat, I'm the oldest, it's mine. But think about a better option. Remember what your sister did yesterday and let her have that seat today. Absolutely, boys and girls. Number 1. Number 2. Ooh. I thought that one a flashlight. Did you get that one? I hope you're answering in the comment box. Question number 3. Imagine that one of your classmates helped you with a school project. Your teacher is impressed with that project and wants to give you a prize. What should you do? C. Tell the teacher that you had help and share the prize with your classmate. Absolutely, there'll be opportunities for that. Number 1. Number 2. Number 3. Ooh, that's a good one. All right, question number 4. In our Bible story today, Pharaoh remembered something important that Joseph did for him. What was it? Joseph interpreted Pharaoh's dream. It's a good thing that he was able to remember that and remember how he helped, because that is what kept Joseph out of prison. But that also showed that the Pharaoh was a good guy. Number 1. Number 2. Number 3. Ooh, that's one of those pretty old-fashioned lockets, probably with a nice old picture inside. We have one more question. Fill in the blanks to our Bible verse. They share blank and give blank to those in need. Their good deeds will be blank forever. They will have influence and honor. Psalms 112:9. We need to say this together, so shout it out at home. They share freely and give generously to those in need. Their good deeds will be remembered forever. They will have influence and honor. Psalms 112:9. Last pictures. 1, 2. Ooh, that is weird looking. Oh, never would have thought of that, boys and girls. I bet you have those at your house. So I pray, as always, that you're going to have an opportunity to give credit where credit is due. That's kind of a saying that people say, both at school and the workforce, but also an opportunity to maybe give of yourself some way. So I look forward to hearing from you. Remember to learn your Bible verses, and please know how much that I love you and I'm praying for you. Have a great, blessed Sunday. Bye-bye.